Welcome everybody to the Azure and AI Show. Today we have Teresa in the US, we got Dan Ray in the US, and Term in the US, and myself over here all on my own in Ireland. So Teresa is going to do some stuff on Microsoft Designer for us, and Dan has some stuff then on AI, and I've got a few things to show you then as well. So Teresa, over to you
Okay.
to present.
I know Thurman had said that he's going to have to leave out. Thurman, you want to do a quick intro of who you are and your provide your specialty?
I'll try to sum up real quickly. First of all, thank you for having me. I appreciate that. Um, I'm enjoying joining these networking events all over LinkedIn. This is great. I want to find other words, but the fact of the matter is, this is fun. I enjoy doing this type of stuff. Um, so for project managers who use Microsoft and are probably creating their tools inside of Excel, I teach them how to use SharePoint instead. I've been doing SharePoint for I don't know, since 2009.
Mm.
So ever since Microsoft has made SharePoint an end user's tool, I'm trying to show people this cool tool that they have available to them and how best to use that in their daily work. But I try to do it in a way where one of my things is like I don't like to I understand the tech and I can talk tech, but I don't talk to end users that way. It's
Right.
just, just
Okay.
making them feel comfortable enough to feel like, they can do this because they can.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's me. You can find my stuff at SharePoint Help Desk on LinkedIn.
Very good.
Very
Very
good.
good.
Yeah, I agree with you about that tech talk because that was my background, SharePoint, and I decided to take a different route. But I get that. So thanks for sharing and welcome.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, we got
There it
um,
is.
There it
Yep.
is. Very good. So last week, Dan inspired me to go check out Microsoft Designer. So I spent my Saturday morning just taking it through the ringer, and there was a couple things that I just wanted to showcase and share with you guys. I do have a YouTube video available on my website, but a couple of things that I just want to point out is notice down here with the suggestions. So I kept entering in these little short, quick. I knew that's what I want my title of my what I want for my canvas and my template or image. And I would put these short descriptions in. And sometimes I got lucky and sometimes I did not. And I know that it takes a little time for it to generate, but I noticed that Microsoft started giving you suggestions on how to, generate your flyer invitation. I even did a thumbnail with it, so people who's doing videos, I did a thumbnail. I actually created the newsletter cover through Microsoft Designer. So this is going to be my new little play toy, right? So, but nevertheless, what I did is I went on and created a blog post because they wanted you to provide different descriptive words and based on some of the suggestions I was getting from them, so I went on and just created some descriptive words that you can choose to use, as well as I provided a template because they, if you didn't use the word create, the suggestion came up. So this was kind of the flow. So I will post the link to this blog post so you have an example. But users can come in here. Here's a couple examples. Here's the template. You just fill it in. Fill in the descriptive words where these brackets are, and then you'll get a result. And I just gave a couple examples. So again, I will post the link to this website. The reason why I did that is because every time I would generate with these short descriptions, it would just, you needed to allow like 30 to 45 seconds between each one, right? So I said, okay, bright light went off. Go ahead and follow this format. So I wanted to share that. The other thing that I noticed was, let me click on this one. And if you already have some designs, click on the designer icon up here and it would take you to my designs. But let me pull this one up. So we were talking, Dan and I, on last week's show, I was talking about the branding. And I really like the branding. So let's say you chose the template that had these colors, you didn't like them. Click on the brand kit. And I had already created my brand. You specify the colors, go in and what font that you want to use. So every time you create something new, it at least start with this brand. So I thought that was pretty nice. And so if I would click my brand on this, oops, let me get out of here, save. If I come over here and then choose my brand colors, things will start to change, right? So when you create new, you can have it. So I wanted to share that with you. The other thing that I wanted to show is, let me go to this one. Yes, this one. So this is huge. So what I want users to take away when they use Designer, don't go in and just create one, flyer, one blog post at a time. Think about a campaign now that you have your brand colors in there. So I created the first one, and now I had multiple. I would duplicate the first one, create the second one from it, and I would just change my colors. The wording were pretty much still the same, but now I have like a whole campaign of that I can use for social media. And then on the last one again, I wanted to include this. So these are animated. If you notice up at the top and you see the preview, so you get an animated version. One of the things you cannot do is control the timing on it. But I gave Microsoft a lot of feedback this weekend. So, little things that I was like, oh, yes, I would like this and I would like that. So what I really wanted to show you is when it's time to download, you have the option to choose PNG. So remember, I have 4 items here. 3 of them are MP4 files, but I can now save all of these as a PNG. So that's 4 things. I can post them anywhere as a still image. Then the other thing that I could do is specify, try this again. I can now say I want images 1 and 4. Page 1 is a still image. The last page is a MP4. Or if I say I wanted these 2 together, and I can download them, and you have another post. So one of the things that I did learn is should you connect to your social media platform, Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn, once you connect to your accounts, you can automatically upload this. Now, the feedback that I gave Microsoft is when you're doing it for LinkedIn, I can't choose pages 1 and 4 or 2 and 4. All pages come in. So the feedback I gave them is saying, be nice to be able to upload the pages that I want. So, but you could easily just come in here. They ask you, you know, what's your goal? You want to raise awareness, get more engaged, increase sales or bookings, or build a community. You put a quick description in here. You generate. I'm going to increase this. I was surprised on what they were providing you that you can include in your LinkedIn post. I was a little bit more descriptive in the one that I created over the weekend. Some of them I liked, some of them I knew that I would want it to modify. You have the option to click on the hashtag and see what they have to offer. You can add what you want as well, and then you can review it. When you review it, oops, go back one. Forgot to generate.
Teresa, you taking questions?
Give me 1 second. I'll take questions.
Okay.
So here you have to hit the plus button on the one that you like, and then you can hit review, and you have the ability to make changes. So now you can come in here and change whatever you like, which I thought was really nice. It asks where you want to publish this. So if I would connect my Instagram and Facebook accounts, I can do that, and I can select them, and then I can publish straight to LinkedIn. I was just blown away with that functionality. The only thing that is missing for me personally, because I want to think having a campaign versus doing all these one-offs, and I even shared with Microsoft that when you do it this way, you're saving on the storage space as well, right? You don't end up having, you know, 5 different sets when you have just one and you just publish them as you go. And the other comment that I made is I would like to be able to include some notes around them so I know what I've published, where, and when. So, but this was pretty cool. I was pretty excited when I saw this component of Microsoft Designer. That's all I have. Thurman, you had a question?
Yeah, is this new?
Microsoft Designer?
Yeah.
Well, Microsoft Designer been out since what, October 22, I think, around about that time.
That's when they
I know,
announced it, but they were
yeah.
in
Um,
preview for like 6 months.
Right. When they first wrote it out, I checked it out, and it wasn't as powerful enough. So I waited until this weekend to really look at it, and had a lot. I always think about the end user. Sometimes when these applications just don't have enough to please the end users, I wait. And IT folks want to know about it, but again, my thoughts is for the end users. And
I'm
so
with you.
yeah, so designer.microsoft.com. Check out my video. I have a full tutorial.
What's up, Dale?
They just said a whole lot of your video, man. I did that. It was really insightful. Hello, Tamara. What's up? How you doing, bro?
I'm good. I'm good.
So,
Um,
are there any other questions? Because I wanted just to quickly show those few things. Again, my biggest thing was make sure that you set up your brand kit colors, you know, font and colors, and think about a whole campaign, not one social media post at a time, right? You know, we're all very busy. Think about, hey, I could almost get like 10 items posts out of these 4 images, right?
so
So
all right, and then so this is for anything. I thought that this was I saw your video and I liked it and I was like, yeah, that looks cool. But I thought it was like tailored to a specific thing. This is a whole separate tool from Microsoft for you to be able to design any
Flyers, social
all of
media
that.
posts. I tested and see if I can create a thumbnail.
Yeah.
The background that I used for the newsletter for the JTTC newsletter, I did it from here. So if you look at some of the designs that I was playing around with, I use this design on my website, right? So I have blog posts I use that love this picture. This was just blew me away. Yeah, I love the
Wow.
picture that it gave, right?
That's so cool.
Right. And so when you hit ideas, I didn't want to go there. I was hoping that it showed other ideas. Um,
Um,
So, like I said, I'm starting to use this a lot. When they rolled it out 6 months ago, I was not happy with it, and I, like I said, I waited. Again, here is another one that I generated that's on my website as a blog post. I use for a blog post. Um, yeah. So the only real major complaint that I have, it needs to be just a little bit faster in the generation part, So I just thought like 30 seconds, 20 to 40 seconds is just too long to process. And if you don't like it, you're gonna generate again, right? So
Facts.
but yeah, like I said, that's what I was doing last Saturday. I had a lot of fun. Again, Dan kind of inspired me. Here's another one. I think that I used this as a blog post about a week or so ago. And at that time, I did not use the LinkedIn component, the LinkedIn connection component. I just downloaded it and then uploaded it to LinkedIn. So, but this was pretty cool as well.
Where'd you find the LinkedIn piece, Teresa?
Under download,
Oh,
when you
okay.
click download, then it
Nice.
says try it.
Nice.
Yeah. So no, like I said, I was happy with it. Again, if I go back to the beginning, I just noticed this is a hit or miss if you just use a short description. I found that they will give you suggestions, and again, I went and created a page to kind of help you out with. And was thinking, I don't know what type of descriptive words to use. So I built this really for me, right? I said, okay, I'll share with others, so yeah.
Okay, so you put that page together yourself,
Yes,
Teresa.
this is on my blog, on my
Oh, very
website.
good.
Yeah. So it comes with descriptive words. If they want to, start to, when they think about and planning, go ahead and use this template and then, fill it in. And I've provided a couple examples. So,
Cool.
okay. So that's all I have for today.
And you know where the LinkedIn part is there on the designer? You've got Instagram next to it. Can you add other ones in there?
Say that again.
Do you know the part where you went to the LinkedIn on the designer? When you go to download and you have Instagram and your LinkedIn and Facebook. Can you just add them in there?
Yeah. So if you would just, I don't have LinkedIn connected.
Okay.
I'm trying to click on it now. Let me try this again. I think it's going to go. Yeah, I thought it was going to go there. All I did was I clicked the button and it wanted me just to easily log into my account. It was just that simple that all I had to do is just log in and was connected.
Yeah, I see. But the
So
Facebook and the Instagram thing, then how did you get those there?
this was already there.
What was it? Okay.
Yeah, it's already there. So, but I'm clicking on it right now to see if I can load my Facebook or Instagram, and I'm not able to do so. So, I might need to check to see if it's only allowing you to do one. The other thing that I wanted to mention is um, with the MP4s, and when you go to your visuals, you have photos, graphics, and videos, no music yet. Because I always
Mhm.
like to add music, to some of my posts, and there was no music. So,
So
um,
when you first started, Instagram and Facebook were there, and then you said then you connected LinkedIn.
I connect all three buttons were
All three
there.
were there.
Yeah, they all but three
Oh,
buttons were
oh,
there, but I clicked on LinkedIn and logged into my account. But like right now, if I click on it, I'm not able to get to it. If I
but
click,
I'm wondering if it's after you click try it, and then you choose where to post, choose where to publish, and then you log in somewhere there. Like there's no.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So I think there's a little glitch here because you
Yeah.
should be able to give me the option to go to either one of them or sign in. Right now,
What
I
about
signed into one and can't get back to sign into the others.
what's managed profiles? What about that?
Manage profile. I noticed it is time.
There we
Oh,
go. There
there
we
it
go.
is. Thank you.
Sweet.
So easy. You just click on it and you start to log in.
So you could do a Facebook page and an Instagram business account. It looks like, but I guess not personal Instagram. Maybe I guess I don't know, but okay. At least we know that's where you can go to get
Yeah,
the items. That's what's up.
good catch. Thanks for that.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that it was like I said, once create that campaign, you can go ahead and post them, wherever you want. And the other thing that I wanted just to test when it comes to um, LinkedIn, if I have the ability to um, schedule it.
I was gonna ask that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
But it looked like it didn't have the ability. So
yeah, yeah. So that would be the next thing that I want to see is if I'm able to schedule them. Because in my mind, with something like this, you guys may see this. In my mind, I can see posting something like this like once a month. So,
Oh,
they've
yeah.
seen it once, but once a month you get a different version of it. So, okay,
Yeah.
that's my time.
nice.
Okay, great, Teresa. Any questions, anyone?
I learned a couple new things.
Hmm.
Okay.
Well, I
Dan,
always laugh. I say you was the inspiration for this.
and I thought you were the expert at that, Dan.
Well, it's things you clicked on. Like I had clicked on download. I don't know how many times, but I just totally missed that you can now do Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn, Instagram
Hmm.
business. But seeing those and Teresa, when you were showing it, I'm like, where did you find that in the interface? I'm looking around, and then Thurman's point about like
Yeah,
where do you find the other two if they're not showing up? Because all
yeah.
three show up for me because I haven't configured any of them. So I guess the
Mhm.
managed profiles is where they're going to put the other two, depending on which
Right.
one you set up first.
Right.
Mm.
Because they were, like I said, they were all there, and then I chose the
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
But I was really excited about that. I was like, "Ooh, this is
yeah.
gonna save me time."
Yeah, it's
And the team's
true.
definitely looking for feedback. So they've done a couple calls with MVPs, just getting kind of our thoughts on what was missing. A lot of my feedback was around LinkedIn, how I wanted to use LinkedIn with it, and I'm sure my voice wasn't the only one there, but
Yeah.
I'm really pleased to see the integration that they've started doing with LinkedIn.
Yeah. Well, if you talk to them again, tell them to look for my feedback in the portal because I gave them a lot.
Yeah. Richard
Okay.
asks where can he find the recording? Richard, it'll be the same place that you found this. So if you're on LinkedIn, if you're on Instagram, or not Instagram, Facebook, whatever platform you're on, it looks like you're on LinkedIn, you'll find it under Frank's profile. So Frank, who is up next?
We'll leave you go first, so Dan.
Okay.
And
See if I can figure all this out here. I've got 100 windows open, which is probably not the best plan. Here we go. There's share. And then we should be able to see that momentarily. Frank, if you can bring that up for me. Thanks.
there you go.
So this is where I found the designer integration with LinkedIn. When you're in LinkedIn, you can choose designer and it launches from within LinkedIn if you have this plugin. It's limited at this point, but that's going to be really, really powerful, because then instead of having to start from LinkedIn and tell it, start from designer, tell it you want to connect over to LinkedIn, you'll be able to do the reverse, start from LinkedIn and connect over to designer. But the other thing that I discovered was this draft with AI. So if I wanted to create, and I think I can switch, looks like I might have the ability. Yeah. So we could go over to Microsoft Speakers Hub, and then I could create a post for Microsoft Speakers Hub to advertise the Azure and AI show. Your description with AI has to be 30 words or more. So you can't just say, advertise the Azure and AI show, create. You have to say, which is on every Friday in the afternoon, US time zones, and evening in Europe. Be sure to include Frank Falvey, Teresa, Cyrus, and Dan Ray. Let's see what it does here. So you have to get to 30 words, which feels a little wordy for what you might be looking for. And then here, it looks like it almost just flipped around some of the words I used to create a post. I can schedule this post. So I could schedule this for, let's say, Social Saturday in the morning, early my time. And then it looks like I lose the designer item here, but I've got that AI written information that I can use.
But I got to jump off here, but I wanted to say one thing. I tested this, and the thing that I didn't like is after I wrote my stuff and then I looked at it in AI, I was like, nah, I don't like it. And I went back to mine. You can't do that. So I had to copy what I wrote just in case I didn't like the AI version, and then paste it, because you can't go back. Which, that's kind of wild. They should do that.
Why they don't give you the
the ability to edit, just like when you schedule a post, you can't go back and edit your post that you've scheduled. I haven't found a way to do that. So I mean, I schedule mostly in LinkedIn, but if you use another tool, you're able to go back and edit your scheduled posts. Where in LinkedIn, I haven't figured out a way to do that. This was good. I want to get on another one here soon.
Absolutely.
But yeah, thanks so much. Appreciate the invite, and I'm gonna see y'all later.
Yeah, take care.
Happy Friday. Have a good evening.
Thanks for joining us.
All right, see y'all.
Anyone can nominate, and remind everyone it's an award, not a achievement. And then we'll do the same thing Thurman mentioned, go ahead and grab what I used as my keywords, my 30 words to draft a response. This is what I got the first time I tested it. It's a much more wordy response. And I'm sure you could play around with this, but it talks about the fact that a Microsoft employee or MVP can nominate somebody. It gives some examples of it's not just an achievement, individuals' contributions. And then don't forget to nominate someone. The first time I did this, it didn't realize that you have to be a Microsoft employee or an MVP currently to nominate. That had changed over time. So it might have pulled that information from an older either article or site where anybody, you could even self-nominate at one point as an MVP. So you could nominate yourself if you wanted to, or nominate somebody else.
So that's a good point. So do you think that it's pulling the information from AI.com, which is, don't have 2 years worth of, latest content. So that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm not sure if it tells us where. Learn
Yeah.
more. This looks like it's just the policy of what you can post. Yeah, make
Yeah.
sure you're following their community policies.
The only thing I can think of, LinkedIn associated to Microsoft, OpenAI. I know Microsoft has a multi-billion investment in OpenAI. So I'm making the assumption that it is part of OpenAI.com.
Yeah, I would imagine it's using the same large language models that ChatGPT uses. Microsoft has used the word Copilot with almost every product. And I haven't seen Copilot used in this. It just says draft with AI. They have collaborative articles, which the articles have been written with AI. And then they allow people to collaborate by providing their perspectives on maybe a paragraph at a time. They'll come up with AI generated just general information, and then you can weigh in with your perspective on those.
I just wanted to just make sure, just in case anybody's listening, OpenAI.com is the same as ChatGPT and whatever number they're on. I think they're like 3.5 and 4. So I think that 3.5 is free, 4 is the premium.
Yeah. And that's also where DALL-E and DALL-E 2 came from.
Mm-hmm.
So the information that they're using for the designer is on the DALL-E side, and DALL-E 2, ChatGPT 4. And this is where I started before I had access to the designer. I played around with DALL-E just to see, what it could do. I used my Google account. It was free.
I don't think it's free anymore, because I think I recently clicked on that and I don't think it's free anymore.
Yeah, that's quite possible. They might be charging for anything. And this is DALL-E 1 or version 1. So the types of things that it'll give, let's see if my history's here. Yep. Looks like all my history's here. So I had done a lot with like speakers and presentations and painting of a technical teacher with a computer. Got 3 different options there. Painting of a person being sprayed by a fire hose. So these were DALL-E 1 version. And then designer, I guess they hooked into DALL-E 2 from a language model perspective or an AI perspective.
I'll try it again, because I know that but I want to say I just tried it maybe not even a couple of weeks ago, and I thought it was a paid.
I think somebody took for 4 ChatGPT 4. I know that's the Plus, which I believe is a paid subscription, and I haven't even looked into the cost of that or anything, but
I don't think it's very expensive. Well, I think I heard $25 a month or something like that, $20 to $25 a month.
But I heard somebody somebody from Microsoft saying that Chat GPT 4 is like Chat GP 3.5 on steroids.
Mm,
That'll give you,
Yeah.
it'll give you kind of a flavor of how powerful it is. If it's
don't
Yeah.
tempt.
If it's getting like that much better,
Teresa's tempted.
yeah.
Yeah. It's just a new toy, right? A new toy for me.
Yeah. Um, I was tinkering around with Bard. I didn't find it doesn't come up with as much stuff as three Chat GPT
Yeah.
3.5.
Even
Interesting,
the
but
Bing
I had
stuff.
quite a bit of folks that said that they liked Google's version better than this version.
It,
So you're
it,
saying, Frank, that it wasn't
it keeps
versatile
coming.
enough?
It comes up with excuses, kind of say I'm a large language model and that's not in my scope or something like that. You know, if you asked it to find a product or something like that, or information about a product, it won't give it to you. Whereas Microsoft's version will.
Yeah, that's interesting. It doesn't let you use the Bing if you're in private mode. So you have to be in. I'm logged into two different LinkedIn accounts. That's why I'm using a private browser here. But that's interesting.
Yeah.
Frank, I
Yeah.
can turn things back over to you.
It was
Okay.
Dan, I just wanted to point out I've seen one day it appears for me and then one day it doesn't. So thanks for sharing it. What I didn't know is that you had to at least put 30, 30 words or 30 characters in there. 30 words, I'm
It's
assuming.
30 words,
Yeah.
which that's what caught me because I asked it to do like, write a post on, obtaining your MVP. And I was like, why can't I click, generate or do this? And, 30 words is a lot when you're thinking about a post, but you can set context too. So I'm sure I could tell it, other things like, I want to use this for a newsletter or something,
So here are my thoughts. So you saw the LinkedIn connection with Microsoft Designer, how you generated some information, um, and they also gave you hashtags. I could see that coming over at some point as well. So hopefully they make them consistent.
That's a good point.
So I've been doing some stuff with the Microsoft tech community. Can you see my screen there?
Yeah. It's coming
Yeah.
up.
Well, this picture I used for this blog post. It was Microsoft Designer created it.
Cool.
See?
So that's one example of it. But I just like the tech community. It's a good thing for people posting stuff as well. So if somebody wants to get kind of increments for their nomination for the MVP thing, this is a good platform to go onto it. So you can just see I'm an occasional contributor and
I have to follow
um,
you.
the which.
Yeah, I'm on tech community too, so I'm gonna have to follow you.
Okay. As you see, I haven't got a lot. I have about 13 posts up in it, but there's some you find some good articles. So I'm just going to go through here. I have a few of them opened. So you can actually browse some of the communities and the hubs on it. So you got a Azure Data one there. You got Microsoft Support Community Questions and Answers, Microsoft Viva. So some interesting stuff there. As I was going through it, there's a 30 years there of Windows Server. So over on the right, a lot of Azure stuff. A lot of posts on Azure. There'll be one here now shortly, be interesting to you, Dan. You were on it with Let me see. Okay, these are some up and coming events that you can log into.
Oh, cool.
So Scotland, all the different communities are all posting stuff up there. So if anybody wanted to kind of see what's coming up, and what's gone. So, and this one here, I just had them open earlier, so Microsoft Learning Rooms directory. Wait and we see. Who did I discover? There you go, Dan.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Empowering your team with 365. So yeah.
Yep. Sharon had the learning room, and so I reached out to the folks that run that program, and I said, hey, what's the process for MVPs getting involved? And Sarah and I decided we'd just combine with Sharon's room. So we had a couple meetings, and Sharon, I think, used Designer to come up with that combined image of the three of us, and we kind of voted on which one we liked best. And those learning rooms have been interesting as well.
I'm looking forward to meeting them in September.
Yeah. I don't know if Sarah's going to be there. Serafina she's in the UK. I met her at the MVP summit in April in person, but I'm not sure if she'll be at CollabCon or not.
Yeah. I've been following Sharon Weaver and Joy
Apple.
Apple. Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting them.
Yeah, Joy's awesome.
So
there's a lot of people that I'm sure are going to be involved. Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, so just this one here as well, like the Microsoft Virtual Training Days, it's very handy for people who want to get more training on different stuff. The link is all in the tech community website. So just that, and there was one other thing. It's not Microsoft, but it's very interesting for, say, people wanting to learn more stuff. It's actually on the Cisco Academy. I see Matthew was posting some digital certifications there recently, and we'll just click into this one here. Now, see, 6 hours. It's actually free, the courses, and when you complete the course, it actually gives you a digital certification that's you can use with your Credibly account. You see it there? So you get this Cisco Academy. So that's for anyone beginning to learn their stuff. Some of the courses are 30 hours long, but there's an easy one there, 3 hours. So yeah, that's Cisco's Academy there for anybody wanting to learn any particular stuff like.
I'm gonna say, is it just all Azure or Microsoft
this
as well?
This is kind of just basic kind of stuff. But if you wanted to do cybersecurity, they just have stuff on cybersecurity. Or if you just want to learn stuff about computing, it's just basic computer hardware and operating system basics. So like 6 hours, it's not very technical, but it's entry level for, some people wanting to get into it. So whereas kind of Azure is fairly more advanced. So here's the kind of all the stuff for Azure. Like if you're looking into Azure, and if you just would say the administrator, which is kind of the first associate, um, there is lots of stuff to do, tons of stuff inside Microsoft Learn for Azure. So I I've been doing it since 2016, and I haven't got around to doing all of them yet.
I think
So
that in 2021, I just wanted to kind of get a basis of, the Microsoft 365, not getting into Word and all of that, but just how Microsoft um, 365 works. It was good to know.
yeah, so like I'll just go into the 365,
Yeah.
and there's tons of stuff inside here as well, Teresa. So
Yeah, like
from
what is Microsoft 365? I know I went through some of those. I knew I wasn't going to get too technical behind the scenes, but I just wanted to kind of have a high level.
yeah, so like when you go into Microsoft Learn, you could just pick it here on the left and the filtering, and we just say if you're just a student and a beginner, just kind of throws you up these kind of short ones. They're 43 minutes, 25 minutes. Seems like some people, their attention span, they wouldn't like to jump on and do an hour or 2 hours. Maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes is okay. And so
Yeah, the micro
Microsoft Learn,
learning, micro learning, I think is a big part of this.
The other thing, here's the advantage to turn on your immersive reader. Shoot. Let it read back to you. I want to go back to tech community because there's a couple of things that I want to mention around tech.
sure.
So, you know, tech community is really good for end users if they have a technical question and need help. For an example, I go to the one on Outlook all the time.
Is this the one here, the Microsoft questions and answers?
If you can just click on community hubs and just select Outlook
At the very top,
from the top
This one?
menu.
I think you have to go back a level, Frank. Go back
Okay.
up to the, and then at the top there's community hubs.
And click on that drop down and just choose Outlook. You could possibly type it in as well. I think there's a search one.
Or products,
Browse,
it should be on, yeah,
browse all.
yeah, should be under one of those.
And
Outlook, yeah.
Very good.
yeah, so I actually come here almost every other day and answer questions, right? So this is where people are having issues with Outlook and need help. I know that I used to answer a lot of questions around Microsoft bookings, and but again, for end users, if you have a question, come here and an expert will provide an answer for you. And also I usually post like how you did your blog post for Azure. I do the same here. I when they was going through the transition from the wiki to OneNote, I think I had like over 100,000 views or something like that. And
Oh,
so yeah, so
this one has got 1.7 million views.
Wow.
oh, that's that left navigation. That left navigation. Some users, here's the opportunity. Some user come here and want to vent. Don't vent. Give Microsoft constructive feedback if you want to influence change, right? Some people are just can be really mean when they leave their responses here. But if you really want to be heard, provide, your issue or how you use the product, give them constructive feedback to for them to at least consider it, right? I try to be so positive, influence change. So yeah. Yeah, that's probably one of the hot topics since I think almost last year about this time. So
And you didn't get kind of an option that you could click on it and drag it, like you can use, the taskbar on Windows, where you could drag it from the bottom and put it up the side?
I don't think so.
No.
No. And the other thing is too is like that one has how many replies or how many comments, you have to
Three.
yeah. If I looked at it, I don't always want to see them again, and you don't have that option to do so. But yeah, again, I come out here, every other day and address some questions.
Okay. So a lot of people are kind of posting in their results on it.
Yeah, I've been doing this for almost 2 years coming out here. It helps
That's
me.
awesome.
We were talking about networking and staying up to date, right? This helps me stay connected to end users' problems, right? What are the problems or that they're having, and help me stay connected with with the end users.
Okay. So this is the Azure one. So they have it kind of broke down into different categories. The main one, Azure on its own, is 9,000 plus. So yeah.
Yeah, they have a form for all the different apps. There's one for Microsoft Teams, there's one for SharePoint, there's one for Word, Outlook, so Azure. So there's a lot. You have one for bookings. So there's quite a bit of forms out there.
And I know there's at the very top, Frank, under events, there's community events. And there's a way, I think, under that page to list yourself. There's a view speakers directory. I think under that, you can actually add yourself. I'm in here, but I don't think a lot of our other Journey to the Cloud folks are out here. So it's kind of a hit or miss on who's out here. But from what I recall, somewhere on this page, I signed up to be a speaker, and there was a process to maybe under options or something.
I didn't know that was there. So thanks
There
for
you go.
sharing that.
Yeah. There was somewhere I went to list myself as a speaker. And then once you're a speaker, you can submit community events, but then the community event it's not immediate. It's like, curated, or they double check that you, I guess, meet all the requirements or something. So
There you go. We gave you another
thank
link.
you. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's been interesting because if you don't have, crowdsourced enough people, I don't want to list something like the Azure and AI Show, Frank, if you and Teresa and, Solomon and others are missing, and make it sound like it's my event or something. But at the same time, I haven't found a lot of hits from people reaching out to, have me speak at other things from here. Sessionize, I definitely have had, some opportunities, and, that seems to be maybe a better place for call for speakers, and, to realize what communities you could participate in. than here for
Did
me.
you say that there's like a process you had to go through a form, and it's not that people just uploading their profile and saying that they're a speaker? Are you being evaluated?
Yeah, I want to say there was a page, and I'm going to see if I can find it. I want to say it was under that community events or community speakers area. And then from there, I was able to get my name. Oh, it's right below view speakers list. I'm logged in. I have create a speaker profile on mine.
Another way to promote yourself and
Yeah,
exposure, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
And
I,
I
I
know
did
this.
get I
Go
did
ahead,
get a
Frank.
few people on Sessionize, all right, that said they
Yeah,
would speak, but I think it'll be September because a lot of people are on holidays this time of the year.
I was going to say this. We might be um, fighting the vacations,
Yeah,
fighting with vacation and holiday time for the next 3 or 4 Fridays here.
yeah.
Um, the other thing I was just thinking, Dan, too, because I just created a profile on Sessionize. It might be a good opportunity to kind of give us some insights on that. I created it, and that's about it.
I found it fairly difficult to navigate around it. Did you, Dan?
Yeah, it's so the setup of a event versus a user group was what I
Yeah,
did wrong the first time. And Frank, I think you found the user group, right? Or the
yeah.
longer standing way
I'll
to.
just, I'll just share that there again with you.
Yeah,
And
While he's looking for that, Dan, I was just wondering, when you were in tech community and your the speakers, is it a evaluation process for that more so than I think you were?
I want to say it was both sides. I want to say when I filled out my speaker profile, I wasn't immediately put up. So
Okay.
somebody probably just makes sure that, you are who you say you are, or, that it's not a bot or something. And
yeah,
then once I was put on as a speaker, you can also, I think that might be the prerequisite to list community events. I don't remember if you had to be a speaker to list, hey, we have a show every week kind of thing.
yeah. They
But
give
Frank,
you,
this is where you set up the
yeah. I did have to kind of say that it was a community event,
right.
and they did have to verify it. And then I got an email back later that day, so it's not an actual automated process. Somebody actually looks at it. And then this is where I set it up then. So as an organizer, over on the left, see at the top left there. Can you see my screen there? Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like when I clicked on my events, this is what come up, the Azure and AI Show. If I click into that, then you're kind of saying, where do I go from here? Like, but when you scroll down, you can go then to speakers,
Yeah. So the
and
speakers that have submitted
yeah,
show up in this
so
website, right?
the
Cool.
speakers there. So when you click into these, then you have to accept them, and they get an automated email then to say that they were accepted to speak.
Cool.
And you just kind of reach out to them then, and organize when they want to speak. So hopefully we'll have these 3 speakers in September. So
Yeah. And Teresa, I know the CollabCon group uses that not only for call for speakers, so you list that you want to speak, but then I think they also somehow on that site did the the graphics that you can download that say you're a speaker at a
Mhm.
particular event. I'm assuming that's code of some sort that's involved, but I've never taken it to that next level of using this for event management, beyond just queuing people up. But I think you can kind of take it and follow it through the whole process of here's what time you're speaking, here's, logistics, here's a banner to advertise on social media that you're speaking at an event.
Yeah, I never heard of that platform before until this conference, and now I'm seeing it everywhere.
Yeah. At the end of the year, last year was the first time I either noticed it or they did it. They provided most active speaker awards. So
Mm.
sometime in maybe January or February, I started seeing all these posts from MVPs or other people I know in the Microsoft communities saying, hey, I got the Sessionize most, popular, most, used speaker. And there wasn't information about like, how many events did you do? Or, what does that really mean? I ended up getting it. And I want to say I had maybe 6 to 8 over the year that I had, I guess, run through Sessionize. So put it out a proposal, got accepted, whether it was used for more than that. Teams 10X, the festive tech calendar, and a couple other things were through Sessionize. And then last year they gave awards for the most active speakers or something like that. So I haven't seen that on any other platform personally.
Sessurize seems like they are a competitor to Eventbrite.
Yes. Yeah. And I think they've
Yeah.
got, Frank, to your point, if you don't register as like a community event,
Yeah,
if it's
you
a
have to pay.
for-profit event, they charge. So
Yeah, they do.
it's only
Yeah,
free for, the fact that we're doing these items for
community
free.
event.
If we started charging for something in a conference or, a session, a webinar, they charge for that.
So we're up on the hour, so I'm going to
Yeah.
end the live show. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we'll be back here again next Friday for the Azure and AI show. So thank you.
Happy Friday.